everyone! Have you ever wondered what your life would look like if you actually did all those things that you said you would? We think I have to start working on this personal project. I have to start doing this from tomorrow. I have to start eating healthy. I have to do this. I have to do that. But the biggest excuse that we come up with every time, and we keep giving that excuse to ourselves, that is, I don't have time. I work every day. I'm tired after work. I have to clean the house. I have to look after kids. I have to cook. I agree with you. You have to do all this. But what if you could find the time to do what you wanted to, even with all this? We have 24 hours a day, right? That is 8,736 hours a year. And if we spend 40 hours every week to work, we are left with around 6,730 hours. And if you're calculating the hours of your sleep, the time you spend with your family, doing all the work at home, kids, everything, all that stuff, and let us assume you're sleeping every day for 8 hours a day and 3 to 4 hours on all the other work that you do. You still have 2,730 hours left in a year, which you can use to work on something that you care about. So, what is the problem now? We are not achieving the things that we want to because we are not spending the time on things that we want to spend on. So here are 5 things which I avoided, and this gave me more time to focus on my passions. So don't look at me like that. I was using all the possible apps on my phone related to social media. Like everyone else, I had this fear of missing out. I would regularly check for updates, and even if I don't check, I had these notifications popping up from time to time and pulling me towards that spiral and those apps, and I ended up spending a lot more time than I intended to on those apps. And I would see all these updates, check other people's profiles, how they are doing, what they are doing with their life, doing great things, enjoying great vacations. And finally, I would just feel bad about myself, and I was in this constant loop. And using social media is a very tricky thing. It's a two-way thing. You can get good out of it and you can get the bad out of it too. It depends on how you're using it. But being constantly stimulated by social media was definitely deviating me, and I couldn't focus on my life, what I want to do with my life, and what I want to achieve with my life. So I finally decided to delete all those apps. Then I found more time to learn new things, watch things I care about, rather than mindlessly scrolling away my time. So what you feed your brain will decide what type of a person you're going to become, and how you spend your time will determine your future, how you're going to be in the future, and how your life is going to be in the future. So reducing my screen time and making it worth, even if my screen time is more, by doing things that I like, watching useful content, focusing on what I want to focus on, what matters to me, my self-improvement, my knowledge base. And when I shifted my focus onto things which made me grow, I had more and more time to do those things which I always wanted to do. And the next thing is news. We want to know everything that is going on in the world around us. We have to, but it doesn't mean you have to spend hours together or a full day watching news, what's going on, and get the updates every now and then, every minute of the day. That is completely unnecessary. Having knowledge of the world around us is important, but not more than 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. That is all that you need. Because if something that important which needs your attention is happening around you, you'll definitely find it out anyway through your friends, through your colleagues, or anyone, or even the notifications on your phone. They will alert you to this big problem that's going on around you. So I limited the time I spent on news, and especially binge watching Netflix. I'm not judging anyone who is, but one thing I find annoying is the way you get drawn into a series, the twists and plot, and you binge watch everything only for the series to end in another suspense, and you have to wait for the next season eagerly. And I'm not that good with waiting to find out what happens next. And when I spent my time on these series, I was wasting a lot of time, and I would also skip doing work around the house. I would skip my meals sometimes, and it was getting too much and it was getting too bad. So I had to draw the line. I don't use Netflix anymore. And When we think about productivity, we think that we have to make use of every minute of our existence valuable. We have to do something every minute of the day, otherwise, we are doomed. But the problem with this kind of productivity, the problem with all the productivity advice that we get is very distorted. We know that some things work for some people, and we think that if we do the same thing, that will work for us too. It might not. Because, for example, waking up early in the morning and studying in the early hours works for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. Some people like it better late in the night, they study late in the night, and that is the most valuable thing for them. So, productivity can be different for different people, and productivity is when you use your time doing what is most important to you. That is productivity. For example, reading books is considered to be productive, but if you read all the books randomly, it won't do you any good. Reading books based on what matters to you, what you want to improve, what you should be focusing on, considering all that. Whether it is improving your communication skills or improving your cooking skills or improving your knowledge about anything else, when you focus on what is important to you, that is being productive. So, all the methods don't work for everyone. So, finding what works for you and working through those methods and making the best of your time is what makes you productive. So, I make sure I'm not getting into something just because everyone else is doing it or just because it has worked for someone else. I do things which mean something to me. That is when I'm the most productive. So, the most time we spend after work is on household work, cleaning, laundry, cooking, and everything that all this occupies a big chunk of our time. But delegating your household work to someone or sharing it with the people you live with between yourselves, or just hiring someone to clean the mess or to clean the house if you don't like doing all that work, can be something which will free up your time, like doing the laundry, cleaning, everything. You don't have to put in your efforts and you don't have to waste your time if you're not interested in that kind of work. And if you calculate the amount of money going into unnecessary stuff, putting away money towards something which is useful, like hiring someone to clean your house, is a good way of spending your money, which will not only give you the freedom to spend your time the way you want, it will also help you to focus on yourself and on your improvement. And even if you manage to cut down on all these things and and you now have more time than you think, unless you are able to prioritize what you want to work on, what to focus on, you can never stop wasting your life away. If you're focusing on the wrong things, if you're focusing on unnecessary things with this newfound time, it is possible that in a few years you'll still be where you are when you started freeing up your time. So, having no clue of why you are freeing up your time and space in your schedule is as bad as not having that time at all. So, make sure you know why you are freeing up that space, why you are freeing up that time, what do you want to do with that time, what do you want to focus on, what do you want to work on. Get working on those goals and on those things first that you had for a long time but have been putting them away for the future. Pursue them now, because there is no better time than now to go after your goals. So I hope this video helped you in some way, and I hope you'll find interesting ways to avoid things that are distracting you from your own goals and achievements. I'll see you in another important video. Until then, you take care.